Good morning, students. In our last video, we have discussed about purchase return book and sales return book. Today, we will discuss about our last book in case of subdivision of journal, that is journal proper, in which we record all those remaining entries, those we can't post into first 5 books, that is cash book, purchase book, sales book, purchase return book and sales return book. So other than those entries, those we can record into the in those 5 books, we will record in journal proper book. So we have discussed about that transaction of a particular nature are recorded in a special journal maintained for that purpose, that is cash transaction are recorded in cash book, credit purchase of goods and material deal are recorded in purchase book, credit sales of goods are recorded in sales book, return from customer are recorded into the sales return book, return to the suppliers are recorded into the purchase return book. That we discussed till now. Apart from the above transactions, these are the other transactions which have to be recorded for them. The proper balance in journal proper. In other words, journal proper is used for recording those transactions which are not recorded into any of the other subsidiary book. As I told, those transactions which we can't record in these first 5 books, we will record those transactions into our 6th book, that is journal proper book. So the role of the journal proper book is usually restricted to the following type of entries. Means journal proper book are restricted to post the entries that we can post into the first 5 books. We can post only those entries into the journal proper book that we can't post into the first 5 books. So in for journal proper book, we have many type of entries. First is opening entry. Opening entry, as we know, we need to debit all the assets and we need to credit all the liabilities. We have discussed this entry into the journal chapter number 7 also, that is we need to debit all the assets. Same in illustration number 9, we have debit balances of building, furnitures, debtors, creditors, bank overdraft, capital and cash. So in this question we know that we have only capital a credit balance, creditor a credit balance and bank overdraft a credit balance, because these are liabilities for us. But other than building, furniture and cash are and debtor are assets for us. So as we know that we have same journal entry in our chapter number 7 journal, that in case of opening entry we debit all the assets. So we need to first choose the assets. First is building, second is furniture, third is debtor, then cash. So we have 4 assets. We will debit all the 4 assets, that is building account debit, furniture account debit, debtor account debit, cash account debit. We will debit all the 4 assets and we will credit all the liabilities, that is we have creditor, bank overdraft and capital account. In some cases we will have only 2 liabilities, that is creditor and bank overdraft. In that case we need to find our capital by balancing. How we will balance? We sum up all the asset and we deduct the balance of the liabilities from the balance of the asset, then we will found our capital balance. But in this question we already have capital balance because this is an opening entry for balance sheet. So now this is how we post entry into the journal. For journal we choose only those entries those we can't post into our. So as we know, in case of opening entry that we post into the journal proper, we need to debit all the assets and credit all liabilities. In case of we have a separate number of balance, then we can also do like we did in last illustration. In this illustration, we have a balance sheet in which also they have separately mentioned that these are the assets, these are the liabilities. In liability we already have capital, so we do not have to find capital in this question also. But in last question they have only given a journal entry, the journal balances, but in this question they've given a proper balance sheet in which they mentioned assets also and liabilities also. So for opening entry what we need to do, we need to debit all the assets. We will put from cash in hand to land and building. Then we need to credit all the liabilities. On the liability side we have 3 liabilities, that is outstanding salary, sundry creditors and capital account. So first we need to debit all the assets. First is cash in hand, we will debit cash in hand. Then cash at bank, we will debit cash at bank. Then debtors stock, we will debit debtors stock. Then we will have furniture, we will debit furniture. Then we have plant and machinery, we will debit plant and machinery. And then land and building, we will debit land and building. So this is the opening entry, and we know it is very easy that we need to debit all the assets and credit all the liabilities. And when we have a separation given in the question, we do not have to do anything, just debit all the asset and credit all the liabilities. In last question we have to find what is an asset and what is an liabilities, but in case of balance sheet they already given what are the assets and what are the liabilities. So we will put asset on debit, and credit we need to put all the liabilities: to outstanding salary, to sundry creditors, to capital account. So this is also same as we did in the chapter 7 opening entry. Opening entry, in case of opening entry, debit all assets and credit all liabilities. So we will have another question on journal proper, in which we will discuss what type of entries we take in consideration in journal proper, because as we know what type of entries we take in cash book, in purchase book, in sales return book, but what are those remaining entries that we post in journal, what are those entries, we will check by doing another question. We already have discussed how to post entries into the journal proper account. Now we need to do a few entries on journal proper, that what type of entries we need to post into the journal proper, because other entries for that cash transactions, credit purchases, credit sales, and returns of credit sales, and return of credit purchase, we know the posting of these type of entry, we have 5 books. But other than those entries, we have a number of entries that we need to post in a book, but we do not post these entries into those 5 books. So all the other entries that we can't post in first 5 books, we will post into our last book, that is journal proper. So journal proper is a book in which we record all those entries that we can't post in our first 5 books. So what type of entry we will post into the journal proper, we will have an question on it. So question is, prepare necessary adjustment entries for the following in the books of Sri R. Banerjee. So we have a person, the name is R. Banerjee. He need to post he have few transactions that he have done in his business. So we need to post these entries for R. Banerjee. First entry is salary of 1000 of March 2020 is still outstanding till now. What we have done, that is a payment of salary by check or either by cash, but now we have salary is outstanding means we have still payable, means we do not paid that salary, we need to pay. So we have discussed this thing in our chapter number 7 journal entries also. It is about outstanding expenses. Salary is an expense for us and it is still outstanding, we need to pay it. So when we paying salary, the entry will be salary account debit to cash. When we pay salary in cash, the entry will be salary to cash. When we are paying salary in by bank, then the entry will be salary to bank. But in this case, we are not paying that salary. It is still outstanding. So instead of using cash or bank in credit, we will use salary outstanding. So the entry will be salaries account debit to outstanding salaries account. It is first transaction. The amount is 1000. So this is the entry for salary outstanding. Then we need to close this entry by putting this line. So when we are paying salary, the entry is salary account debit to cash or either by bank. But when the salary is due on us, means we need to pay, we are still not paid that salary, it is outstanding, so we use outstanding salary instead of cash or bank. Another entry we have interest accrued on investment. Interest accrued means the interest that we need to receive. Means we earned that interest but we did not receive. That we have talked about income earned but not received. Same it is, we earn interest but we do not receive that. In case of receiving of interest, we have the entry is cash account debit to interest received. But here we do not receive the interest till now, so we will use accrued interest instead of cash account. So entry will go accrued interest account debit to interest received account, and the amount is 200. In the same case, if we receive that interest, then the entry in the place of accrued interest, we will use in the form we are receiving either by cash or either by bank, then the entry will be cash account debit to interest received. But in this case, we do not receive that interest, and this is an income for us. This is outstanding income. It is an outstanding expense because we need to pay that, and it is an outstanding income because we need to receive that one. Now we need to close this entry by putting line. After interest, we have entry of advance. Rent received in advance. In this case, we received rent in advance when both the first entries are for outstanding. One is for outstanding expenses and one is for outstanding income. In case of outstanding income, we use the word accrued, not outstanding. So in this case, we need to pay and we need to receive. But here we paid. Here we receive rent in advance. Means if we are need to receive that 2000, we received a amount of 2500. So 500 is for rent received in advance to us. बिकॉज हमारा सिर्फ 2000 बनता था और अगर हमें 2500 मिला है तो हमें 500 रुपए एडवांस मिल गया, तो वो हमारे ऊपर क्या बन जाती है, एक तरह से एक लाइबिलिटी बन जाती है. So in case of advance, we need to flip the entry. When we are receiving rent, the entry is cash account debit to rent received. Cash account debit to rent received, or either bank account debit to rent received. But when we received in advance, in case of advance or prepaid, we need to flip the entry. Now rent received will go in debit instead of credit. So entry will go rent received account debit to rent received account debit to prepaid or rent received in advance account. So how we will post entry for advance or prepaid, that is we need to flip the entry. First we need to think in our mind about the base entry, and the base entry for receiving of rent is cash account debit to rent received. But when we received in advance, we need to flip the entry and rent received go in place of debit instead of credit, and we will add prepaid or advance in front of rent received. So this is there is a difference between the outstanding and prepaid. In case of outstanding, we just need to swipe up cash with the outstanding. Like when we are paying salary in cash, the entry is salary account debit to cash account. In case of outstanding, we just need to swipe up cash and put outstanding salaries. In case of accrued interest, we are not receiving, means it is receivable. In that case also the entry is cash account debit to interest received. We need to pull off cash from there and put accrued interest. But in case of advance, we need to flip the entry, and this is the income because we are receiving. Next, insurance premium, because insurance premium is an expense for us because we pay insurance premium, and this is the prepaid. It means we paid more than our premium. If we have premium of 600 and we paid to 800 to them, so here we have paid advance, here we have received advance. So there is a difference in both the entries also. In this case, when we are paying premium by cash, the entry is insurance premium account debit, insurance premium account debit to cash. But because we have prepaid, so we will flip the entry and we will put prepaid insurance premium account debit to So, as we have discussed, in case of prepaid, we need to flip the entry. First, we need to think about the base entry for paying premium. The base entry is insurance premium to cash. But in case of prepaid, we need to flip the entry. Then insurance premium will go down on credit. Earlier, it was on debit when we are paying. Now it will go on credit, and in debit we will add prepaid insurance premium. So these are the entries that we can't post into the cash book, because for any outstanding or prepaid expense, what we will post in cash book, because till now we not received that expense. So we need to post another entry for closing stock, that is 10,000. So closing stock, as we know, we have it in final account, and final account also we have it in trading account. So for trading account we have entries for closing stock, that is closing stock account debit to trading account, close 10,000. This is the new entry for you for closing account. Some of you already have studied about the trading and P&L account in 10th class. In P&L account, we have, in trading and P&L account, we have closing stock on the credit side of the trading account. So from taking the credit side first, because it is on credit side, so we will take credit side first, and the entry will go from closing stock to trading account. This is the entry for closing stock. Next entry we have loss by fire 20,000, and that is goods, not money. So in case of loss by fire, we use loss of stock by fire account debit to. Now we need to check what is the losses. So in case of we are losing cash, then we will use cash here. But because we lost our goods, so for goods we use purchase account, because we purchased those goods. So these are the inventory for us, and when we lost inventory, we use purchase instead of cash. All these entries we have discussed in our chapter number 7, other than the closing stock entry. The other thing I need to tell, that how to post entries into the journal proper. So journal proper is a simple form of journal also. In this you have to journalize the entries, but you have to journalize the entries that you can't post into the first 5 books. In journal, when we are doing chapter 7 journal, in that we have posting all the entries, either for cash, either for bank. But in journal proper, we put only those entries that we can't post into our first 5 books. So if there is a salary outstanding, that we can't post in any of books, because we did not paid that salary till now. So if we have another entry of loss by fire, we of goods. So if we have loss of cash, then we can post it into the cash book. But if we have loss of goods, that we can't post into the cash book, we need to post into the purchase or journal proper book. And we lost goods, so we will use purchase in place of credit instead of cash. So this is how to post entry in the journal proper. And what type of entries we post in the journal ledger? These type of entry. So you need to revise what type of entries we post into the journal proper.